saw there was a Pacey request on Twitter.
Yeah.
Go. This is Sunday, July 26th. There are 359 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2021. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTEE go.
Oh my God, I love LiveJournal, and my LiveJournal loves me. Current mood is hyperactive. Current music, Refuse 73. I love the color scheme. It's pink and purple. It looks dreamy.
Good evening. I am your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us.
And joining us for the second day in a row for a special wrap-up podcast is Patrick Ballesteros.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
All right. So, why are we here again? We just apparently can't stay away. This special end of con podcast. This is the final hour of Comic-Con 2020. We're basically going to wrap up what's going on, and Patrick is going to basically do a live sketch-a-thon based on your suggestions. I'll let Carrie do a little bit more detail on that in just a minute. We'll take comments and questions during the show. Tweet us at SD_comic_con. Use the hashtag SDConCast. And we'll be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat for your comments there. So Carrie, let us know why we're doing this after a nearly 4-hour podcast yesterday.
Well, I mean, I'm here because Patrick asked, and we love Patrick, and we think this is a great idea. But I think Patrick should actually be the one to explain what he's about to do.
So yeah, normally of all things at a comic convention, I really don't get to draw that much. So this is kind of my chance to actually do some artwork for all of you. And I just thought it would be kind of a nice way to wrap everything up together, talking with you guys and then talking with everyone out there while just kind of relaxing. And hopefully this kind of keeps us going and carries us over to 2021 for next year. That's basically it.
And at the end of this session, you are going to put this sketch up for charity for United Way San Diego, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
It was that charity was actually brought up to my attention by the Con Rangers, so they're helping with that as well. So I figured might as well keep it rolling with that charity. So yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's get this going. We've already got a suggestion. Sharkman asked, please add Queen Amidala to the line, Patrick.
Oh, so we like Queen Amidala, like the hello, I am the queen with my headdress, or like normal queen with the Princess Leia homage Amidala.
Unless Sharkman says which one specifically, I think it's artist choice.
I completely agree.
Okay, I want to do the monotone Amidala because she's got the cool headdress, that whole Mongolian inspired headdress. So that'll be fun. All right, here we go. I'll just put her. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, the drawing screen that is. Is it sharing?
Click the share button because.
Oh yeah, I have to do that.
You have to click share screen.
I'm doing it. My bad. Kaboosh! I've used this before. I swear. So there. Now you can see my screen, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and I just put something else up there because it'll just look really empty. So luckily I cut my nail, so it looks okay. So we'll get going. And any questions as I'm doing this, just give us a holler, or me or whoever a holler.
Yeah, well, James, let's just start adding what people want to this outline, and then we can call them out later. But then you and I can sit here and talk about how we think this year went.
Absolutely. You want me to add them, or are you gonna add them to the list?
I can.
I'll do it.
Okay. So this was obviously online only, which was brand new for Comic-Con. We all know why. The world is kind of on fire. But I think it went really well. I feel like we talked about this. They had basically about 50% of the amount of panels that they would have had at the normal convention, which honestly, I think that is an incredible amount because that still equals out to, I think we said over 400. Yeah. So, and all the panels that I've watched at least have been really well put together. I think it was super smart of Comic-Con to pre-record them all. I know some people have complained like that they weren't live, but you've got to think about like the logistics of that and think about like your own Zoom meetings you sit in on work, like how many times are there technical issues, or like you don't want to spend half your panel like watching people figure out their technical issues. You just don't. That's not why we're here. So I'm actually really glad that they pre-recorded it.
Yeah, well, let me explain, because I was actually on a panel. So it's entirely up to the people running panel to record it and edit it, and it was supposed to be 45 minutes, I think. And or you could just send it in, and Comic-Con would edit as they saw fit for time. So we recorded for, I think it was a little over an hour, and then the California Browncoats, who were running it, they edited it and sent it in, and it got approved, and now it's up. And I think it went up at 10 a.m. this morning, so you can go watch it. And I think that's basically what everyone did for these panels, is they just pre-record them, send them in. Comic-Con either approves them or not, cuts them down if they feel like it needs to be cut down, or if there's anything, offensive or whatever that they can't have airing on their channel, they will cut out. So, and then it's what you saw, and they had to do that for 400 panels.
Yep.
That's a lot of work when you think about it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is.
It's an insane amount of work.
All right. So, how many characters do you want? Because this is a nice long list.
Well, however long we have until the end of this segment, the other podcast, you keep going. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them in the chat so you can see the list.
Oh,
and
okay.
You can just make your choices based on start picking them, which ones you want to do.
It's going to be intimidating and daunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So what else do we think has gone well for Comic-Con at home?
I feel like a lot of the vendors did some really inventive things. Like I love that Toddland did that open timed release for all their stuff, so that, like he was saying yesterday, I mean, with no con, but then opening up to everybody, I mean, he had no idea like how many people were going to buy stuff. So this allows, one, him to make the most money, but two, then nobody has to stress about like making sure that they get their log on before things sell out. Like, I think that was really smart. I think yesterday's like was like flying by the seat of their pants. Like when those dice sold out, they were like, well, let's just bump this other dice up and add that. Factory Entertainment did the same thing with their teacup for Star Trek when the first one sold out. I think it's just like opened up a lot of people to being more creative, to meeting the demands, because like nobody knew how this was going to go. So I think that's been really fun to watch. I think we definitely had less overall exclusives, but I feel like what we've had has been like really sharp. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I mean, I've been randomly looking at different things that we've retweeted on the blog and just taking a look, and people are taking the advantage of either having sales on existing stuff or creating something new. And basically it just feels like the show floor, because you have people selling old stuff, things that they've, bringing back, having brand new things. It's just that nice random assortment. It feels like Comic-Con, just, I'm looking at my screen instead of walking around the show floor. So yeah. I think that the exhibitor experience has possibly been one of the most similar experiences. The panels, the panels is kind of like a better experience, because you can actually see more stuff than you normally would.
You can see more stuff than you normally would. I mean, there's definitely something to be said for like the live experience and like getting to see these people in person. Like that's why we all go to Comic-Con. Like you can watch panels on YouTube at any point. So there is, again, definitely something to be said for that. I feel like you just like threw up a ton of text in there for him.
I did. That's just a ton of characters.
It's cool. I got it.
All right. Yeah,
I think
mean,
he has enough
again,
characters to draw for the entire hour at this point.
yeah, I think so too. Again, I feel like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, just the fact that the panels are like, if someone takes the time to record them, you're going to be able to see them on YouTube if someone puts them up on YouTube. And that is, I think, someone, this My Show Industries mentions a couple of the things that the panels were lacking, which is a lot of them didn't have any footage to show because there's either no footage to show or they just didn't want to put it out on the panel like that.
Yeah.
And there also is no chance for Q&A from attendees. So that's the other thing that was lacking.
Yes, no. A lot of the shows did actually, like back in June, take questions from fans over Twitter. You had to have been paying attention back in June in order to be a part of that, but several shows did ask for questions. Do you think, we've had a lot of people ask us, like, is this something that we think they could do moving forward? Like, where they do put the panels up online, do you think that that is a possibility moving forward? Like, even if we have a normal con?
See, I'm still not sure that they're ever going to do that. I think we talked about this a little bit a couple of months ago, I think, when it was first announced that this is what they were doing. And it's really that Comic-Con wants the attendee experience to be for attendees only. And this is a special circumstance. Now, going forward, they may decide that that they want to. I mean, if you really look at it, their mission statement as a 501c3 nonprofit is to promote pop culture to and education out there. And I think that they may, I mean, if they want to put stuff online that goes against their "this is for attendees" part, they need to go with their mission statement and say, we need to put stuff out that is the educational. So you may not end up seeing the Marvel Studios panel or anything like that, but you may see some of those spotlights on individual artists go up in the future,
which I think would be amazing. Like I think they should do stuff like that. Again, like you said, I think it's a whole lot harder with like the Hall H or even Ballroom 20 stuff, because you've got studios involved, and a lot of times like they want to retain the rights, and then if they do show footage, like somebody has to like cut it out or decide like if they can show that. So there's a lot more involved in that. But for a lot of these like smaller panels, I think that would be so fun, and I wish that they would. It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward, because I do feel like a lot of attendees really have enjoyed this panel experience of getting to watch things whenever they want. Like, again, I'm excited to watch more stuff this week, like after Comic-Con. It makes it feel like the experience gets to go on a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I haven't really spent a lot of time watching panels this weekend. I've been doing too many other things, mainly stressing about yesterday's podcast.
Same.
You guys did great. That wasn't nuts. That was like 3 hours straight.
Oh, yeah. It was like 4.
It was
oh my
4.
gosh.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying the fact that during the week, this coming week, I can then catch up on the panels that I missed, and it keeps Comic-Con going. But it also then feels like real Comic-Con, because I catch all the things I missed while at Comic-Con. Because there is so much other stuff you can't go to when it's physical, that you're limited by lines and whatnot, that you can't see everything. And now you can go for weeks after and track down things that you missed. And you can spend all your time still doing that. So it still feels like Comic-Con.
Okay, so let me talk about this, because we've had this question a lot. How long will these panels be up? Comic-Con International has not actually given an answer. I saw an email behind the scenes that said that they will be up at least through the end of August. I don't know about after that, but you at least don't have to like try to cram them all in tonight, is my understanding.
Right. Speaking of, some people have mentioned in the chat, some companies that did a good job. Amazon is mentioned multiple times as a company that did a good job, because they gave us free swag.
Which is what people really want. Yeah.
They did panels. And they basically just made it feel like they were putting an effort into Comic-Con at home, just like they do put such an effort into what they do at Comic-Con with their amazing offsites every year and panels and giveaways and all that kind of stuff.
I have to say, like, that boys swag thing, like, it was glitchy, definitely, especially at first. But honestly, like, that almost felt the most like Comic-Con, because it would just like randomly open and close, and it was just like at Comic-Con where like randomly companies will start handing stuff out and you never know. So
Yeah.
To me, that was almost like a more realistic.
The Amazon giveaway site was basically circling in the booth.
Yeah, it really was. It was funny. And the Nickelodeon patches seemed to work really well. They gave away 800 a day of those. So long as you got on around the time we tweeted, like a ton of people tweeted us that they grabbed one of those, which is fun. Yeah, I think that was great.
And someone else mentioned the FX website, which was
yes,
games that were really fun.
I love that What We Do in the Shadows one. It took me forever to beat, and I am definitely not on the leaderboard, but it was really fun. And Kim on our team outside Comic-Con, she made the leaderboard at least the first day, so go Kim.
Yeah. Mosum217 says James looked cool as a cucumber yesterday. And yes, once it was going, I was pretty much okay. But the 2, 3, 4 days beforehand, I mean, I was stressed. But it went.
You did a very good job of hiding it.
Yeah. Like I said, once we were going.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing, I guess, about what we did yesterday is like once that ball starts rolling, like you just gotta go with it.
Yeah.
Who are you drawing right now, Patrick?
Black Widow hiding on the balloon.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm gonna send some more of these that have been put in there.
Let's see. So Lister Smeg asks, speaking of badges, Carrie, when will 2021 badges ship? Let's make sure there is a Comic-Con 2021 first, kids. Can I talk about the exhibitor map now, please?
Yes. Okay. So we've been talking about a lot of the things we had fun with and we thought were cool, but obviously not every Comic-Con has some great things. There's been some problems over the years, of course, just like we can expect with any event that's running. So let's talk about the one thing I think that was probably the biggest problem with this year's Comic-Con.
Yes,
the worst thing about
absolutely.
This year's
and I know a lot of you were sitting there going, no, Funko was the biggest problem, and that was also an issue. But no, to me, Comic-Con National nailed everything this year except for that freaking exhibitor map. I don't know what they were thinking. It looked like it was designed in 1990. It was like nearly impossible to navigate. And the part that kills me is that we had a ton of people tweet us like that they were so frustrated trying to use that thing. They were like, well, I'm just not even going to spend any money with vendors if I can't use this thing. And that just breaks my heart. Like,
and
that should not have happened.
Yeah. And I think the problem is that the map was the loading point. I think as the initial point that was a fail. If they had put the list that you could get to after going to the map and figuring out how to go there, then
see, I don't even agree with that, because the problem with the list was the list listed everyone, but there was not like a super immediate way to tell like who had uploaded things and who had not. Okay.
Right. No, I think it would have been a little easier than a map.
What they should have done, in my personal opinion, is they normally have a page for the exclusives, and it literally is just a list of the companies who have uploaded exclusives. And you can click on the company name and it will like show you the pictures of the exclusives, and they should have literally just done that, but just add a buy now button. Like that should have been all that it was. That way you could like immediately see like, okay, these are these specific companies that have uploaded things. And I don't know if they did it this way to like try to be more inclusive, but then it just made like the most horrific user experience imaginable.
Well, I mean, obviously the point of that map was to walk the show floor because they wanted to give you the Comic-Con experience of being on the exhibit floor. That was the point. The execution was the problem.
It was so awful. Like, and again, like I kind of get what they were going for, but someone should have looked at that and just been like, this is not working. We need a different plan. But yeah, that is my biggest gripe. Beyond that, though, I felt like almost everything went really well. Again, I know Funko had issues, but I mean, it's Funko. It's like the hottest thing at the con. Like, it's always gonna have some kind of issue.
Yeah.
It just is. And I mean, it was kind of fun. I thought, like, chatting to everybody, like, as we were all experiencing the same technical glitch across the world.
Everybody's having a problem.
Yep.
So
that's the part I forget, is that it was accessible to everybody. So that's kind of insane when you're thinking about it, that you could be anywhere and you're at Comic-Con. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it is cool.
Yeah, and it's more equalizing, but then you also have, you know, hey, it's not quite as exclusive anymore. But, you know, with the Funkos, with the exception of their 10% show exclusives of all their exclusives, you could get them on the shared websites anyway. It's just now the Funko shop was one more place to get them.
Yeah. And honestly, like, most of their exclusives go up online in a normal year anyway. There's always like only a handful that are actually sold through the show only. So it wasn't that different than normal.
Yeah. So looking forward, while we're going here, let me see. Flash Messy asked, how much of an impact do we think COVID will have if there is a Comic-Con 2021? You know, with things being safe, hand sanitizer and all that, or will it just be all ignored? I mean,
I think it just depends on like, I'm sure it will. I mean, I think it depends on like what the situation worldwide is as well. Like, I mean, if we have a readily available vaccine and like everybody is vaccinated, like I think that's a very different scenario than like if that doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, I do think that this will affect things. I think we could see possibly like maybe autograph signings happen a different way because maybe celebrities don't want to get like as up close anymore. I think face masks, whenever the con happens, will be the hottest swag that every booth gives out. But yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on whatever happens worldwide.
Yeah. You know, is it still just spreading everywhere? Is there a vaccine? I think that it just depends on that. And I think we're going to see a lot of those conventions that are end of this year, early next year, who may actually decide to go forward. They're going to basically be the test cases to see how it's run and see if everyone can actually handle doing that. Because I mean, at a con, there really is not a lot of chance for social distancing. Not much, especially at crowded ones like Comic-Con.
Completely agree. Okay, so Patrick, so tell us who all you've drawn.
So Stitch, Queen Amidala, She-Ra. Was it the I Have Spoken guy, Khalil? I forget. Oh, I always forget how to say. Yeah, Krill.
Wheel.
So they're both on his creature, The Thing, Black Widow, Falcor, Baymax, Pacey in the front, and then
Thank you.
I'm doing, yes, you're welcome. King George from Hamilton right now.
Wonderful. Love it. Love it. Okay. Yeah. So Love Pink Hello Kitty said Walmart took my order for Hello Kitty Gold Bank and suddenly it says my shipping process got stuck. We have heard of a lot of people who have placed orders and then had them canceled later. Like I know that happened with Box Lunch with some of the Funkos. But that happens every year. Like, I mean, I think I've had a Hot Topic Funko order get canceled that I bought while sitting in line at the con. Again, that's just kind of the nature of like online and limited things is more people want them than they are available. So unfortunately, sometimes glitches happen where your order gets canceled. And I know that that sucks. And I know that like, it's so much nicer just to like go to the con and like have it in hand, but it's just kind of the nature of the thing.
Yeah. And I think I ordered the the Marty Back to the Future from Walmart, and I think all I got was a shipping delay. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, at least I didn't get it canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. It just is what it is.
And
So
yeah,
what was go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
What was your favorite thing that you did or bought or saw or about this year?
Oh, geez. Well, Beth's favorite thing was the Star Trek teacup that we purchased as soon as it went live. So
That's fair.
I forgot to mention
fair.
that yesterday that we did buy one of those like immediately as soon as it went up, and it would like Tom mentioned, it went up early because StarTrek.com or TrekCore or whoever it was posted it early.
StarTrek.com posted it early, yeah.
Early, and so they're like, get it up for sale, and so we went, bought it immediately. So I think that one. I think their Princess Bride puzzle.
Yeah.
And even though I have a few hours to decide, I still haven't decided to buy that Martin Anson Star Wars print. I think that one is probably the piece of art that I like the most from it. Like all you enablers. But I think that was it. I think being able to actually spend time looking for things and buying them, which I never have time for at Comic-Con. I mean, I'm always in a rush somewhere. And the only time I ever stop and purchase things if I am lucky enough to win one of the exclusive lotteries, and I make time for that. But it's a really quick in and out thing. I don't have time to just shop.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. I mean, I was right before the podcast for like 2 hours before the podcast. I was just going to different shops and looking at what they had and showing Beth some things like, hey, you want to get this? Hey, you want to get this? So I think that's my favorite thing is having time to shop.
That's cool. What about you, Patrick? If you can answer while sketching. Did you have a favorite thing this year, Patrick?
To shopping and stuff?
Well, just what was your favorite thing like about this year?
Look at anything.
You have been, you've been like just as busy.
Yeah, it's I think my favorite thing this year was just not having to wake up at like 4 a.m. every day to get everything ready to drive before they close off the intersection, so I could park, get up, and get everything ready. The other thing was I used to do the mini original. I did the mini originals on site last year, and I'm glad I didn't have to do that on site this year because that was always a mad dash. But other than that, I think I will have more time to actually look at the panels and go through people's shops and look at different things after all this kind of dies down. And that's something I maybe get like 20 minutes out of the whole show to do that, to walk the floor with my wife.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty nice.
That is fun.
We had a question from Emily Coral. Patrick, what kind of pen is that?
I should email this company. I'm giving them so much business. This is it's a letter pen. It's actually just used for writing letters, if people still do that. But it comes in two pieces, the ink and the pen body. And you could read that, right? You can't. It's like Zig. It's a Zig letter pen. It's a Japanese company. Kuretake makes them. So yeah, now I have to get it back. There we go. So that's all I'm using. And I like it just because I go through so many of them and I just have to change out the refill part. It's glittery, but there is no glitter in it, just to let you know.
All right. So if anyone has any other questions about Comic-Con for Patrick.
Well, I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
No one. So I've become familiar with the blog over the past few years, but I actually haven't done the history. I should probably look it up, but when did the blog start?
You can handle that one, Carrie.
It was 2009. It was started by a guy named Zach Young, who I think he wasn't around that long, right? Like 2 years?
2 or 3 years. Yeah.
2 or 3 years. And then Jeremy Rutz came on. He took over for a while. I joined in... When did you join, James?
The first thing I did was in 2011, I think. 2010 or 2011. I wrote 3 articles for the blog.
Okay. Then I feel like I joined in 2012, maybe?
I think so.
I think so too. And then I took it over in maybe 2014, maybe. Everything runs together, okay? Everything just runs together.
Yeah.
And it's been mine ever since. There's a team of probably about like 10 of us. Anybody who doesn't know, I'm the editor-in-chief. James is not a name, but he's basically managing editor. He's basically second in command. We've got some other amazing folks on our team like Parks and Cons, Outside Comic-Con, Lisa, who is at SDCC GOT Girl, if you know her, Robert, who is at Legion of Sand. We've got just some really amazing folks. And yeah, we just work our asses off to cover the con.
Yeah.
And this is all from just the bottom of your hearts. Like you guys are just volunteering, quote unquote, your time to all this.
Every dollar we make goes back into the site.
Exactly.
And I mean, we don't make a lot of those dollars in the first place.
And that's the thing that's awesome. And that's why I wanted to ask you that, because I don't think a lot of people understand that. They, oh yeah. I think a lot of people even think that this is like the official like San Diego information hotspot, which pretty much it's become over the years. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize it's like they're putting this all together. They're not getting paid, and they're able to answer all your questions and do all this, and it's pretty awesome that you guys do this. So I hope all of you out there kind of see that and appreciate it. I know a lot do, but I just want to make sure that everyone else kind of tuning in that's new, that they kind of know that stuff. It's super important.
Well, thank you.
Oh yeah,
yes,
of course.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are a somewhat professional fan-run site. We try to be as professional as we can, and we try to again just cover the whole con. This year has been really interesting and kind of weird to cover just because it is so different than a normal year.
Yeah.
Hopefully we did okay.
It's
weird to me because I feel like I've done like nothing because there's just been like less to cover, so it's a weird feeling for me, but at the same time like everybody seems to be really happy with our coverage, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, it's because for all of you who don't know, Carrie basically is the one who does the most work for the blog. She writes most of the articles. She doesn't necessarily find all of the information. That's again Lisa and Kara and whoever else is looking, Kim, Robert, all of us search randomly. We all do part of that work, and even Carrie does some of that, but Carrie writes most of it. And so on a normal Comic-Con day leading up to it, starting in roughly June-ish, she's up super early in the morning, goes to bed late at night, and writes anywhere from 10 to 20 articles a day, typically, and just keeps us all in line. And so if you want to ever thank someone for doing this, you find one of us, you can thank us, but then also say, and please thank Carrie for me, because she's obviously the reason why this is going the way it's going.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I actually, the other day I looked, and because I was like, I wonder how many articles we've written this year compared to normally. And I think it was like 60 this year compared to like 600 in a normal year.
Wow, that's crazy. That is nuts.
Yeah, so that's why again I'm like, I don't feel like we did much this year, but there was less stuff. Like there was just less people doing exclusives, which is also again, Patrick, why I think it's amazing that you were still just like full steam ahead. Like let's just do as much stuff as we normally would, maybe even more. Like I think that's amazing.
I don't have an off button, so
I don't either, so I get it.
Yeah, because anytime I always forget there's like it's a 3-hour time difference, right, between where you are, East Coast, West Coast.
Two hour. I'm actually central.
Okay, so yeah, still it's 2. So I'm up at midnight, and I send you and okay, hey, I'm like, what are you doing awake? I tweet you, and you're like, hey, I'm like, what the? All right, cool. Good morning.
I just don't sleep June and July in a normal year. It's fine.
Yeah, same here.
It is what it is.
That's kind of why. My mentality is that. And it's so weird. It's kind of last year, every year my mentality is this could be the last year I get in. And so in a sense, that mentality helped me to prepare for this year because it is going on, but it's not the same. So I always just prepare like it's the last year that I ever get into Comic-Con. It's the last Comic-Con. So if it is going to be my last one, every time I want to do something big. I want to do something that makes me say, why am I doing this? This is like in the nuts. I don't know how I'm going to finish this. And then in the end, I'm like, oh, okay, I finished it. Okay, what's next?
Well, I just want to say again, and you have it up on your screen, how much I love that the Great Hall print. Like, I think that just is what Comic-Con is. I love it so much. For me, this and that Yesterday's pen are like the two exclusives of the con for me personally.
I take that as a very big compliment. So thank you very much. Because I know both of you have seen so much over the past few years. So that's very, very complimentary to hear. Thank you.
You always do amazing work. Okay, I saw a question just a second ago. Stephen M. asked Patrick, do you release new sketches throughout the year or usually just around cons?
Most of the time it's been around cons for those mini originals. That's what I'm assuming he's asking about. But this year I'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 more drops, bigger drops, at least 50. But yeah, I'll probably take a month or 2 to recover after this.
Yeah.
And then I will always announce when I release it. And yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Just kind of stay tuned.
Crystal R asked, will there be more Great Hall prints? I don't.
No, those were limited and sold out. If anything, sometime maybe at the end of the year or early next year, I may do like the artist proofs that I have, just those artist proofs that are kind of like for myself. Some of them were kind of test color prints and stuff. So I may release those that I have, since I think I have a few of them. But yeah, don't hold me to that and don't like keep emailing about it. If I do release it, it'll be announced and I'll let you know. And
yeah,
don't get mad at me if a bot steals your copy. Sorry.
I'm just looking at your print. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty. Yeah, look at that, thing's packed.
It is packed.
Let me know if you run out of characters on that list, and I'll start grabbing some of the other ones.
Oh yeah, start grabbing some more. I'm just looking through, like trying to find some that just contrast. And
do you have someone from Good Place on there already?
I'm gonna put let's put Cheaty in here.
Okay.
Do it.
Right.
Francis asked, Patrick, will you be adding more designs to your threadless t-shirt site? Batman Party Crashers.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't use my threadless as much anymore. I might, but most likely just sticking with prints and like pins and stuff for now. If I do more shirts, I'm thinking of kind of doing my own stuff a bit more with the apparel and just things that I want to create more things that stand out. So we'll see.
You should.
Delay Johnson says this is the most restful con for attendees. It's like absolutely.
It is. This is the most rested I've been in July in like 10 years. Like, this is bizarre.
Absolutely. I mean, and I've mentioned this many times, I think, but this is allowing me to keep my streak alive. I have not missed a Comic-Con, but I got to take a year off from Comic-Con. I mean,
yeah,
it's like this, if you have to have a best part of it, this is the best part of it, is being able to keep my streak. Well, I don't know if that's the best part. No, it's a really good part of it.
I know, it feels so weird because I mean, like, obviously this year is like horrible on a national scale, but it has been a little bit nice to have like a year off without having to have that like fear of missing out and all that, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't really mind. We've been calling it a gap year. I didn't mind our gap year. Let's see. Sharkman asked, Patrick, how are you going to list this print for sale? Auction site like eBay or?
I don't know if I'm going to do an auction site or just like a flat rate on my website. I don't know what would work better because I'm trying to pack this thing and put a bunch of different characters and trying to make it as fun as possible. So
are you
something I got to think about.
Are you going to make a print of this, or is it just going to be a one-time sale of the original art?
You know, I'm thinking of selling the original, and then I'm figuring it out. But this week I might put it up as a PDF that's downloadable, and just if it's like a $5 donation, and anything that I get from that donation for this digital download, I'm going to donate it to that charity.
Okay.
I think
So,
that's a great idea.
yeah, so I think that might work better. It's just people just can download, they can print it at home or just put it on their screensaver, and anything that you give me, just shooting it over to the charity. So
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about this. This is my Show Industries Asked Anyone Else check out the Adult Swim con stuff. It was a bit hit or miss and was pretty much all the properties they featured last year. I have been bad and have not checked out a ton of like what all the various networks have done on their own. James, have you checked out the stuff that wasn't really under the SDCC umbrella?
I have not, actually. I haven't had time. I mean, besides you went to the FX one, and I think that was about it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, FX was definitely under their umbrella. I mean, there's been so many other like little mini cons that like were kind of under this umbrella, but were kind of not. Like again, Adult Swim happened this weekend. Like DKE did their own little mini con. Sideshow did their own little mini con, but they weren't like under the Comic-Con umbrella. I don't know. For me personally, that means I'm less inclined to check it out. It might be smarter for them because they have enough just regular fans that like they don't need it, but that's just my personal opinion.
Right. Hey, Patrick, can you add a transformer to it too?
sure,
Awesome. That's for me.
got it.
That's okay. Jamie Bressler asked, would the blog ever consider printing logo t-shirts as a fundraiser? Probably not. Mostly just because I don't really want to deal with sales tax on our taxes or anything like that. We do t-shirts every year. We didn't this year, but we always give them away for free through Prize Mule. That will continue in future years when there is a physical con. That is the best way to get one of our shirts. It's the only way to get one of our shirts.
Yeah.
Also,
This is a
hygiene.
good one. This is a good one too, Patrick. Corey asked, can you put the SDCC toucan somewhere?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. If any of you watched the WonderCon online event, I did a t-shirt change every 15 minutes. I did not do that for yesterday's, but those that was
people.
Yeah. I didn't want to get up for that. That was part of the nervousness. I don't think I can get up for the few seconds it would take. Not even that. But if you go and watch that and just click every 15 minutes or so and just see the different t-shirts, that's basically a history of all the t-shirts that the blog has done.
Yep, and we've done a lot actually over the years.
We do about usually two a year.
We do 2 a year. We do one for like the public, and then we do like a staff shirt that's different. Yeah, just didn't do one this year.
Yeah.
So is it hard to get some of those celebs on the blog, or are they pretty familiar with it, or is it like a sell? You have to like say, well, we kind of, hey guys.
You know what? I mean, in the past, like, sure, yeah, like we've definitely had people turn us down, but truthfully, for yesterday's podcast, with the exception of Yvette, I literally just like went to people who I kind of already knew and was just like, hey, you want to do this? Because like, I'm not going to say we're like friends with Zach, but we interviewed him for years, like because of Nerd HQ. He knows who we are. And he even said like he basically came on like because we gave him so much love like over the years. So that's why he came on. Brittany, I got to meet last year, which was a cool experience. So that's how I got Brittany on. Yeah, it was actually like really easy to get everybody on. We asked Yvette because she's one of the best moderators at Comic-Con and we love her. But
so aside from
still,
Yvette, it was like CarrieCon is what was happening.
It kind of was. It was basically like Carrie just called like all of her friends and was like, please do this. But yeah.
That's cool.
But still, like when you've got people like of that caliber, like it's a little terrifying for us.
Yeah. I mean, not just having them on, but just hoping that everyone can, is okay with the login and wait and,
Yeah.
and all of that and make sure everything's on time. So, I mean, I was pretty amazing that everyone was on time or early and came on no problem. And everyone was so nice and just having so much fun. It just felt like it was really cool. I mean, it was really
cool. Everybody just came on like joyful and game and like ready to get excited about Comic-Con. Like it was just fun. It was just fun.
Yes. We actually only have 14 minutes left until the end of Comic-Con. I mean, what would have been Comic-Con in the closing.
So what would you normally be doing right now, James?
Me, I would probably be wandering around the show floor. Typically mostly sideshow, but I usually would have gotten sideshow out in the middle of the day and just taking pictures of things. As Sean at Parks and Cons recommends, if you want pictures, the end of the day is always the best because people start clearing out and they're not on the show floor as much. So that's the best time, is the end of the day, to start taking pictures. And they clear the floor from like the back to the front, so you have a couple of minutes near the front until they get to you and kind of force you out. So you can kind of slowly walk your way from the back of the hall to the front of the hall and just kind of randomly take some pictures if you wanted pictures with less people standing in front of things. And that's typically what I do.
Yeah.
I like being on the show floor for the announcement of, get out, and listening to all the exhibitors cheer that it's finally that 5 days is finally.
Yeah, that's what I miss.
They can finally sleep.
Like I was hoping, I don't know if it's on YouTube, or I haven't looked, but if the recording of the voice, the exhibit hall is now closed. Thank you. Welcome. That guy's voice.
The final one is not that I've seen. I actually went looking for it and I couldn't find it. But
but we may have something else that'll make you happy, Patrick.
Oh, cool.
Just a version of it, maybe. Yeah, was there a talkback panel this year?
I don't think so. I don't think there was.
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah. Well, he's saying he'd be at the talkback panel. Yeah, that's so. I mean, the last hour of the show, I think I've been to. I don't know if I've ever been to the talkback at Comic-Con. I've been to it at WonderCon, but the talkback panel at Comic-Con is like, well, do I go there for that, or do I wander the show floor for another hour catching last-minute photos and things like that? It's like. You gotta make your call. Every second of Comic-Con is a decision to make.
Where we would really be is at our venue getting ready for our party.
You would be.
I would be.
I would not. I am not leaving that. I typically do not leave Comic-Con until it's done. So
yeah. No, I would be off at our venue somewhere. We had a really fun party planned for this year too, but hopefully we'll get to do it next year.
Do it next year. Everything's delayed a year. That's just the way it goes.
That's right. It was gonna be it's our Prize Mule's 5th birthday this year, our 5th year doing it. So we'll just do the 6th birthday next year, which will be more random but funnier. So yes, that's fine.
Exactly. We do have a couple of questions for Patrick. Maya asks, will you ever bring back your X-Files 25-cent mini?
Oh, the mini. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I might do another one in the future. I think the only reason I did that one was because that was like one of the few sci-fi shows my wife watched, and I did it to kind of like, see, I'm doing something you like, and she did, and I sold it. She didn't get it, so that's good. No, probably I don't think so. I don't know if I'll do another one. Maybe, but yeah. Again, don't hold me to that one. But that was a fun one to do. I just felt bad because they were separated. So, and it's like limit 1 per person. So the same person couldn't get it unless they like had a friend get it for them. But I think it went to 2 different people. So for those 2 different people, you're connected somehow. Just saying.
Yeah. Then the next question from Steven is, will you go back to Emerald City if it does happen in March?
If I get in. I applied last year. I didn't get in. So if I'll apply. But if things aren't good, because March is not far. March is not far. So I would say even by September, if things are still like this, I would be like, I don't know about that. I don't think so.
But now, does Emerald City do it differently than Comic-Con? Is it just random every year, whether you get in or not?
I think it's jured as well. It's definitely jured. It's nonprofit, so you do pay. Most people I've heard getting in usually get in consecutively, but then recently, I don't know if they're just trying to change things up, flip things around. But yeah, I mean, I've been getting in for this would have been my 6th or 7th year, and then I got the notification I didn't get in. I was like, oh man, that's a bummer.
Wow.
So
That is a bummer.
I know the
Yeah.
exhibitors, the way they run exhibitors at Comic-Con is there's like a point system for exhibiting at both Comic-Con and WonderCon for however many years. And
mhm.
the longer you go, supposedly the easier it is to keep your booth. But I think the same thing that goes there is if you skip a year, it's going to be a little harder to get back in.
Yeah. I think there's like maybe like a leeway of like 1 year or something. I'm not sure. I'm not positive about that, but yeah, I think WonderCon, if you do like get into WonderCon, because that gets you started on a good foot with them and with the whole system.
Let's see. I appreciate that we have a couple people asking about PASICon in the chat. That's funny.
Yeah, I think the Amazon site went back up again for the giveaway
nice.
site. So I don't know if it shut back down again, but it was open a few minutes ago.
Well, if you have not yet gotten your t-shirt or tote, go forth.
Yes.
So they're gonna ship it to you? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
going to ship you a t-shirt for free, basically.
Wow.
I mean, they're not spending millions of dollars building a 60,000 square foot offsite and
Yeah.
bringing in all kinds of
True.
panelists and guests and all the other promotion they may have done. I don't know if it's millions, but it's a lot. They spent a
Wow.
lot of money.
I'm sure they're writing this off anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like keep
Yeah.
going, write it off, write it all off. All right.
This My show industry has just said it is still open. So yeah,
There you
go forth.
And then Sir Lucius Meg asked a question earlier. Do you ever use a drawing tablet? And if so, do you have a preferred brand?
I do. I do a lot of my illustrations. Actually, I do use the Cintiq on Wacom, of course, for most of my professional work. But in all honesty, I've been doing all of my larger prints on Procreate on the iPad. Just because when I could, I would be at coffee shops just working left and right. And I don't want to bring my big home station with me everywhere. I've done it once and I just look like goofy. It's like this big thing in front of me. I had no shame. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're that guy. I'm like, yes, I am that guy. I got stuff to do. I'm getting it done. But now I just have my iPad, so I look normal. And it just looks like I'm just doing taxes or something. And people kind of leave me alone. So I'm like, this is cool. I like this. No one knows I can draw. Until they come over and then you get the question, are you an artist? It's like, no, I'm not. I just like to draw. Oh, did you just draw that? I don't know. Did you see me do it? Yes, I did. Yeah. Those are the two questions you get. It's funny. It's so funny. Without fail. Did you draw that? It's like, okay. So good. Oh, really quick. I just wanted to give one shout out to to the volunteers who help out each year. Those are the people in red vests that you see with the line signs that help everyone in Artist Alley. Help me out tremendously. Clydine and her crew, Tanya, Rachel, and a lot of people's names I'm forgetting that are out there. And they get a lot of abuse from people, and they're not even getting paid either. Like they get a lot of abuse. And they're just volunteers. They got regular 9-to-5 jobs and they're just doing that to help out. So I just wanted to give them a shout out because they keep it running and they keep us artists sane and hydrated and allow us to go pee when we have to, because sometimes you can't leave that. So it's nice to go pee, people. It really is. But yeah, shout out to the volunteers, the red vest people. Love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Elizabeth asks, Patrick, who are your favorite characters to draw?
My favorite characters to draw. I do like drawing robots. Robots are really cool. Not just Transformers in general, but a lot of different types of robots. Some from anime, manga, things like that. But I would say, as of recent, one of my favorite characters to draw. I think I enjoy drawing. Let me see, what print did I just make that I finished? Umbrella Academy is really a lot of fun to draw. Umbrella Academy, and then I just get a kick out of drawing Thanos because I'm always trying to find a ridiculous way to get his chin across without looking, like what it is. Just don't want to make it look going down a bad route, but just trying to play around with that. And just that he has purple skin, it's like, dude, come on, you're cool. It's like you're ube ice cream. That's awesome. Let's do this.
Are you excited about the new season of Umbrella Academy?
Oh, hell yeah. Yes, I can't wait.
Me too. I know that comes out, I think, next week.
Yeah, I think it's just a few days away.
I'm so glad they wrapped up on that. And season 2 of Mando, I'm glad they were able to film all that before. So that is something that I'm excited to watch and do my appreciation piece for it, because I want to do something big for it. That, again, one of those things that makes me go, why did I start this, and just finish it.
So on the flip side, JG asked, is there any characters or theme that you really avoid drawing or don't really like to draw?
It's the fandoms that I'm not familiar with. I'm just trying to think if there's anything specific. I think it's when people ask me, like, I know there's these other subculture lores that are out there. I think the one thing, it's more specific, like someone asked me to draw Thor and Loki, and I was like, okay, cool, I could do it my kid style. She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And she's like, can you do them kissing? And I'm like, what? You know they're brothers, right? And so that part kind of threw me off. I had no, like, it was cool up until that point. And my issue it's that, like, they're brothers, though. That's their whole dynamic is like fighting and just getting into mischief together. So that kind of took me out of it. And I was like, it's cool. Thank you for thinking of me, choosing me, but I don't really do that stuff with, you can see the type of work that I do here. And that's kind of not in my line of what I do. So that was more just awkward, very awkward. But I think in regards to like things that are hard for me to draw, I think it's when people don't know what I do and they ask me to draw something like that, or they ask me to draw something like super, super sexy. It doesn't happen a lot, but every time, like, oh, can you draw this girl? And then, they do the thing with their hands and stuff. I'm like, yeah. Do you see what I just have up here?
It's very kid style, like not so much.
So when you throw that stuff at me, it's not that I can't do it or don't want to do it. Part of me, I don't want to do it. But the other part is like it doesn't fit with the message I'm trying to put out there. So yes.
Totally get that. Jesse asked, are your commissions still open?
I'll probably open the book towards the end of August, early September, because I still have a long list of people that I need to get through from this con. So for those that have a commission, thanks for hanging tight. Hang tight just a little bit longer, because I'm going to be fulfilling orders for a while. It's just me and my wife, so she's taking time off work.
I think it's almost time.
It is almost time.
So here we go. And so what they're after, we don't know. We'll keep that up to your imagination. How about this? How about we draw what they're after next year for 2021? So something to look forward to.
Is there a Buffy or Angel in there?
I could put one in really quick.
While you're doing that, because oh no, it's last minute. Okay, ready?
What's up?
Thank you for attending Comic-Con. The exhibit hall is now closed.
That's awesome.
There you go.
See, now I can rest tonight having heard the voice. I feel good. That makes me happy.
I may have played that a few seconds early, but start moving
works.
people out of the. Start moving people out. Get out. Do you have it? Do you have the badge? Do you have exhibitor badge? No. Start moving out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, gotta have that setup sticker.
Oh man. Okay, so obviously Comic-Con at home is going to go for as long as you wish, because it's all online. But that's kind of technically the end of Comic-Con this year. And
yeah, so real quick, let me just say, through the end of tonight at midnight Pacific time, you can still get in your orders for Toddlands exclusives, and also that yesterday's I Miss SDCC pen, and I think the Mondo Star Wars timed print as well goes through midnight, right, James?
yes. Oh no, actually,
Okay.
I don't think it's midnight. I think it's midnight central. not
Central.
midnight
Yeah,
Eastern.
because they're my time zone because they're in Texas. So that makes sense. Yeah, so you can still go and order those 3 things. And obviously, like, you can still go and shop like normal vendors, and we strongly encourage you to do so. But we hope you had an amazing con. Patrick, do you want to go over one more time everybody who's in this amazing print that you made?
So Mando, Wreck-It Ralph, 11, IG88, Prime, the Toucan, Baymax, Stitch, Queen Amidala, the monotone one, King George from Hamilton. That's me on Falcor. Someone told me to put me in there. The Toucan. Here we have Vader and Anakin. That wasn't on there, but I just wanted to put them in there. Black Widow, Toothless, The Thing, Ben Grimm, Wonder Woman, Khalil on his little creature thing, Pacey, Cheaty, Buffy, Angel, Gambit, Malfoy, and yeah, I think that's it.
That's amazing. I can't believe you did that in like an hour with that many characters. That's good.
Awesome.
No problem.
Okay, so keep an eye on Patrick's social to
Yeah.
see how this is going to be done for charity. But
Yeah, it'll be either most likely a PDF for you to download and just a small charitable contribution, and then I'll put the original up.
awesome.
And anything else that we may have talked about, like the Amazon giveaways, the FX offsite stuff, any of that, you can just go to the blog, sdccblog.com, and you'll be able to find a link somewhere. Just search through the last few pages of stuff because it's all in the last few weeks. So it's all current, or just search what you're looking for.
Or better yet, go to our Twitter because, again, the gap year,
Oh,
so I've been a little bit lazy about writing some stuff up.
Or our Twitter. Yes, you can search there.
Yes.
Anything else we want to talk about while we're closing down for Comic-Con? I mean, we don't actually have to leave, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I don't know. All the top line people doing like that extra time stuff. I don't know if doing like a smaller 6x6 of this piece for people, because I know a lot of people are super sad. So it was something I'm thinking about. I don't know if I should do that or not, but just a timed half a size version of this Great Hall. I don't know if people would be interested in that at all, or if I'm just throwing it out there, or should I just be quiet and go eat or something?
I think if you're going to put out the Great Hall print again in some other form than you already did for the limited edition, that you will have people who want it.
I completely agree. So you can think about that, Patrick. You don't have to make a decision right now.
I know. No, that's why I'll think about it. Yeah.
You know who to email.
Okay. at 2 a.m. here, so you should be still awake by the time got it.
Yeah, can't wait. So again, let's just give a shout out to Comic-Con International for doing a fantastic job this year with the programming in particular, and to all of the vendors who put things together, including Patrick. It's just been so nice to have like a little bit of normal Comic-Con thanks to you guys and CCI, and yeah, it's just been really fun.
It has.
I agree. So I gotta pack pins and prints now before I knock out. Thank you, everyone, and
thank you so much
guys
for coming
again
on,
so
Patrick,
much
and for doing that art for us.
Oh yeah, no problem. It was fun. It actually doing art during a Comic-Con has felt different and actually relaxing. So yeah, I love it.
Do we want to do our quick little wrap up here, James?
Patrick can head on out if he wants.
Okay. Thanks,
and
guys.
we'll do our wrap up so he doesn't have to listen to us drone on in case I go really long.
Let me stop the share.
Real quick, Patrick, where can people find you online?
So you can find me Patrick Ballesteros on Instagram, Patrick Ballast on Twitter. That's without the arrows. And Patrick Ballesteros anywhere else. So yeah, my website is patrickballesterosart.com. And thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Patrick.
Yep.
Okay, let's do our quick wrap up.
All right. So this, not yesterday, wraps up our SDConCast season. We will be doing a Patreon-only podcast probably sometime next week to put up. And so for our patrons, which let's mention the Patreon. Some of you mentioned in the chat, how do you donate or support? We do have a Patreon for you to join as little as $1. and we do a special monthly podcast just for patrons. So if you want to, the website, the link is right up on the main site if you want to check it out there.
It is, and that helps keep the lights on for us. Again, we make $0. Everything goes right back into the blog, and you guys help to pay for our hosting and, like we said, those t-shirt giveaways that we do every year except this year, and all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, thank you to our patrons.
Yes, thank you. We don't have anything that we think is going to be scheduled regularly until next year, because there will be no badge sale, most likely. We're expecting, because I think
sincerely doubt it.
A vast majority of people probably held onto their tickets for next year. But, you know, we may randomly do a podcast here and there, but I think you can expect SDConCast next year, sometime probably in February or March, leading up to WonderCon, which I'm thinking is probably going to happen, and we'll see if it does. And if it does, we will be there covering it. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us this year, online mostly, entirely.
Yep.
And Carrie, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet at Carrie Dixon. James, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Dan Regal, and you can check out geekshotphoto.com for links for social media and photography for my wife and I. And thank you to Beth, who edited yesterday's massive podcast, and it will be going up soon. And then she will handle this one. And she's also the one who made sure her alarm was set to make sure I knew when to play that little, the con is closing. If you actually, let me get through all of this here. We're on iTunes if you'd like to subscribe to almost nothing coming out for the next few months. You can search, links are on the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We're also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to Patrick for coming on, and everybody, go
shawarma.